We're gonna get started in about a minute. I think it is about time to get started. Hello, everyone. Oh, let's adjust this just a little bit. There we go. Cheryl, hello. Ooh, from rainy Merida, California. Sorry. Oh my goodness, I can't read today. Hello, creatives. I am Mina from Olo. We're gonna color some fish today. It's gonna be really, really fun. I have like my little demo here that I was playing with, so should be. This one doesn't look very good, but we're gonna have so much fun. So hey Kim, what do you call a goldfish with no eyes? Don't know. What do you call a goldfish with no eyes? Uh, a gold. Ha! I get it. I get it. That's really funny. All right, I'm just setting up my desk cam. There we go. Hopefully this week we won't have anything falling over. I'm gonna get a little closer in there too so we can better see things. I'm sorry for the shaking. That will calm down in just a second. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, I hope everyone's having a really wonderful day. Here in New York, it is like 80, it's 78 degrees, so it's beautiful, but in my basement apartment it is it's a little cold. So let's jump right into this beautiful line art. So this line art was called Goldfish because we have a color called Goldfish. Emilio, hello. Finally made it live. Joan, hello. Welcome. So funny story. This is called Goldfish because we wanted to highlight the marker that is called Goldfish. These are actually koi. So what we're going to be doing today, hey Jared, what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be coloring a goldfish, yes, but then I'm also going to show you how to color koi. So this guy's going to be our goldie. This one is going to be a koi, and this guy I haven't decided yet. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I want you guys to take what we're going to learn today and also apply it to mermaids. Little hint, hint, wink, wink, because well, Mermaid is going to be coming up, so you're probably going to be doing a lot of scales. So this should be a really good place to start. All right, so the colors that we're going to be using are a part of the coral color theme. I have them all right up here. As I work, I will be swatching them over here on the side so you guys can see. And I do have them listed in the description already, so you guys are all set to go. And now that we're all set, let's have some fun. I'm so excited. I really, really am. I'll have my little pen right here. Okay, so we're gonna start by coloring this little guy right here, and he's gonna be our little goldfish. So, Jenny, hello, hi, and welcome. Oh my goodness. All right, so for our goldfish, the colors we're going to be using a set of 4 colors. We might dip into a little bit of the yellows, but we are going to be using a red 0.1, red 0.3. You guys will see that I have them paired up, so these are my blending pairs. And we are going to be using OR 2.2 and OR 2.5. So let's swatch these guys out and let's get to coloring. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm so sorry. I was setting up for the stream and I have I call her my intern. She's my really fluffy cat, and she likes to be in on everything. Like it's her thing. All right, so this guy is R 0.1, and now we will have R 0.3. Perfect. All right, so this is going to be our first set, and then our second one, OR22. So like I was saying, if you see cat fur flying around, I'm so sorry. I literally just cleaned my desk, and then my little fluffy cat was just like, hey, I noticed you cleaned my sleeping spot. Let me get on in there. She's just really funny like that. OR 2.5. So this is going to be our goldfish. We're also going to be using this for the koi. Yay! Recommend through from the bottom. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. Maybe bluefish. All right, so where we're going to start is we're actually going to be laying out our R0.1 first. I always like to have like a game plan and set my base around. So I'm going to unhook that guy, put it right there. And I'm also going to unhook the top part, or, uncap it, because these guys are blending pairs. So this guy, we're going to start in the center, and I'm just going to kind of follow his shape. I'm not too worried about texture here yet. I'm just going to kind of put it down. Let's see if I can get it a little closer inside here. There we go. Stop shaking. Thank you. Okay. All right. And sorry I was a little slow to get started here. I was all set up. All right, so very simple, just our base color going on in there. Very, very cool. My fave koi at home is platinum with a red dot on forehead. I was playing around with a heart on this one's head, which is fun. All right, we're going to flip to our darker side here, and we're going to practice doing scales. We're actually going to jump right in that fast. Now, to do scales, you want to obviously follow the way that the fish is going, but it's pretty simple with your brush. You're basically going to place it down and just do like a little side U. And you want them to be kind of close together, but you want it to have that space. And it really comes down to how you lay this out is really going to make it look more like scales. So if you are placing them in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this hex pattern here, that's going to get you a really good scale look. So we have our base tone. We're going to do the bottom part of this, and the further back to the tail, it's going to be smaller. As we get to the center, they're going to be a little bigger. And again, we're going to kind of follow that from small to big. So starting right back here, a little towards the bottom of where I colored, just going to very gently put those little U's, and these U's, they're facing towards the tail. So you want your U's to face that tail. Be sparing with it. Don't go crazy. Don't do like the entire fish. We're just doing the bottom part right now and just kind of enjoying the way that looks. So I'm kind of just alternating. Doing like 2 and then 1 and then 2 and then 1, and kind of like letting that lead into our fish gills right here. Yay, fish gills. Very cool. There we go. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to flip back over to my R0.1, and so the inner part of that gill, I'm just going to gently press this color into it. And what that's going to do is, since this guy is still a little bit wet with that alcohol, it's going to start to make that bleed, and it's going to pull out that scale so it looks a little more shiny than like a dot. So we're just kind of working with that bleed. So I'm just basically putting it right on the inside of that U. And there we go. We have our first set of scales. That was loud. I apologize, everyone, for that loud noise. It is not a stream with me if I don't drop something. But I get really good at recovering. There we go. So we have our first set of scales. That is fun. All right. So now that we have that, let's stick with our softer one. I want to go and put the indentation of more scales, but using our base tone or our lighter color. We're going to do that right under here. So that's like where the white of the paper is showing through. There we go. We're starting to get some really cool, like, pushing of those colors. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to cap these guys. We're going to come back to it, but we're going to get a little more bold now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my OR 2.2 and my OR 2.5. These are the blending partners. I'm going to start with our softer tone. And now we're going to follow that same pattern that we created with the gills, this time with this color, going towards the middle. Don't be afraid to go right up into that tail. These lines are really good indicators for where the fishtail actually starts. And again, just follow that same pattern that we have started to establish. Our U's are facing the tail. Don't be afraid to go back into, your darker scales, just little dabs here and there. And scales they're pretty tedious, but oh my goodness, are they gratifying. Like when you are done putting these in, it's like, wow, that looks really very cool. Oh, hello, Kathy. Glad to be here. I'm really glad that you're here. Welcome. All right. So we have some pretty cool scales. So I'm actually going to use this OR22 on the face. And I'm going to start by going around that gill into the mouth and around the eye. Still going to leave some area, some part of the page white. Because think about it, like if it's, this is fish, so it's going to be very reflective. There's going to be light on the top here coming down. So we want to leave some room for some of like those highlights and using the white of the page to go and put that in. Oh, look at how cute he looks. I'm going to put a little bit of this right on the tail, right on the fin, on top the dorsal fin. I don't really know fish. I know cats. This is my opportunity to learn. There we go, just very gentle, filling that in. Very nice. So let's go ahead and uncap our OR 2.5. Now this is going to be very strong, so you want to dab this. A little on the mouth, maybe a little under there. A little right at where those fins start. Very soft. Very soft, very soft, very soft. Because Olo's juicy, and it's like, honestly, its superpower is just how juicy they are. You don't need to worry about having to really press or apply. You just put it down. All right, switching back over. OR22. Let's take that color and just pull it out. I'm here. Don't be afraid to saturate that page. We want to pull this. Pull, pull, pull. Don't let the lines scare you. Let them guide you. Very, very cool. We're getting into our ugly phase, and I love it. As so enjoy the ugly face. The only artist in the world that enjoys the ugly face. There we go. Look how cute he's looking. He's looking pretty fish-like. And you'll see it looks really hard right here. Once that dries, it's going to soften right up. So we'll be able to get a little more going on. Let's see if I can get any closer without, you know, hitting my mic. Nope, not gonna work. Sorry guys, I feel like most of the stream is me fighting with my camera. I will one day have this set perfectly, and it won't be an issue. I just want... Okay, there we go. So sorry about that. All right. Taking, again, our OR 2.5, follow the edge of the gills, quickly flip. And let's let this blend. All right, so I'm going to put this to the side. We're going to go back to our lighter tones. We're going to grab our R 0.1 and let's soften in some of these guys. Just soft little brushes. There we go. Very nice. All right. So I do want to have some more gills, like, not gills, but some more scales. I was like, gills, fins, scales, fish anatomy. I want a little more on the scales here. So let's go to our R 0.3. And let's very gently add a couple more right next to there. We can also bring a little bit into the face. It's still like nice and soft, so it'll pretty much accept it. Very cool. Just very gently dabbing in some spots. All right, he's starting to come together. On Tuesday, Elisa always gives me like a brief on, you know, like best practices and whatnot. And she showed me this and my mind was just blown away because I've always struggled with scales. Dorothy, will you have a list of colors you used today? Yes, actually, in the video description is already there, as Kim explained. And there's actually a link as well, to all of them. So yeah, of course. Great question. Beautiful. All right. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm going to cap these guys. For now, we will definitely come back to them because you can't keep me away from orange. You just can't. Put these guys over here, recap them. And where is my 0? I know I had it. Did I not bring it out? You know, a 0 is the most used marker that I have. I have replaced the ink cartridge couple times already, and that I just use it a lot. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry about that. Let's go back. I got my 0. I swear I have 8 0 markers, but it's like the #1 marker that I misplaced. So here's my 0. I'm going to be using chisel. And what I'm going to do is right up here, I'm just going to put my chisel down. And we are going to make some reflective scales by using the 0. Follow that same pattern. We had there. You're just gonna press the very tip of it. You don't need to go crazy. You don't need to apply pressure, just like put it right on there. You can go in there where you have your lighter scales. Press it right on the inside of that U. I'm just gonna push these around. The 0 is such a powerful marker. Whoa, okay. My fish does not look as good as Mina's. Ha, I'm powering through. Don't worry, Kim. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's a process. Like, it is a process. You gotta trust that process. Okay. Looking pretty good. Looking a little more fishy. A little light on top. We're gonna put my 0 right here because it's like my #1 used marker. We're going to go back to our R0.3 and OR22. I'm going to take my OR22. And let's just gently get a little darker this area down here. Because now this is when we're going to push. Let's start pushing these tones a little bit more. So I'm just dabbing up and down on here. And I know a lot of people are going like, oh my God, you're losing the definition. No, 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 it's okay. It's all right. We want to lose a little bit of that definition because we're going to go in and fine tune it. Trust that process. All right. Going to go in, same color, right on the fin because it's going to cast a little bit of a shadow. Here we go. Go under here. Fill these little guys in. Same thing for our tail. What I'm going to do is just literally take the brush and we're more or less just going to pivot. No brushing necessary. Just there we go. Getting a little texture in there because fish are all textures, guys. All texture. Linda, it's my first time watching. I'm really enjoying this and learning a lot already. Oh, Linda, I'm so glad. Welcome. That's what I go for. I don't want to do the usual just like color along and we all get the same thing. I want everyone to be able to explore. So like anything I do here, try it with a different color, try it with a different color family. You know, it's fun. All right, so I'm flipping my marker over to my R0.3. This is my darker tone. And we're going to go in. Remember, to do a scale, if the fish is facing this way, towards the right, your scale is going to face your tail. Scale, always face the tail. Yeah, you can tell I used to teach children. So when you put this down, I want you to angle a little bit. You can't go straight up. Angle. Angle it. Use the angle. And gently do whoop. It's like a little this direction. Go this way. This way. So you're going to push, and that's literally all it is. And to get the scale look, just go ahead and keep filling in that blank space. The more you do that, the more it's going to fill in. So this is going to work for snakes. It's going to work for mermaids. It's going to work for fish. Anything that has scales, you're going to be able to do this. It just has to do with that pattern. All right, so we're going to go under here. And I'm very gently going to go in to places I want to be my darker scales. And we're not doing everyone. We're being a little sparing. We're going here on the bottom because we want to be able to accentuate what's up top because the fish are shiny. They're pretty little shiny guys. Flipping back over inside your U, inside your scale, dab it. Dab, dab, dab. Dab, 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 dab. You're making a bleed. And when you make a bleed like that, it's going to start to pull everything from the corner out. There we go. Oh my God, so cute. Look at this cutie. Oh my God, he's so cute. I love him. If you feel like you're still, like it's still too much, don't be afraid to go and just wipe your marker right over it. Your darker color here is strong enough to stand up against that. There we go. Oh, he's very cute. I'm liking him. I'm liking him. All right. So I'm going to cap these guys. OR22. And we're going to go into a little bit of reflection because fish are reflective. We've only been working with the color of the fish. We haven't been working with the actual outer area here. So for the outer area, for the color of the water, we're going to be using BG 2.1, BG 2.4. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this back out. Make everyone dizzy again. That's what I do. There we go. Okay. This guy is BG 2.1. And this guy on the other end is BG 2.4. Again, if you guys want to know what colors they are in the description down below, so no worries. All right. So I know I said, hey, you know, color of the water, but we're going to be working on the reflection of the actual fish here first before we jump into water, because we're learning those foundations first. Then the water is actually the easier part. I want you guys to like look at this first. So I'm going to take BG 2.1. This is the lighter of my blue greens, and under here, I'm just very gently going to lay this color on top. A little bit in the fin. Do like that mid part where that orange is kind of like touching a little bit. Maybe a little up top. You don't need to go crazy with this. You know, even up here, you can do like little dabs. So you'll see I'm kind of just going like this for right now, because I kind of just want it to bleed a little bit, because this fish is sitting in water, so we have to add a little bit of his environment in there. You can even go into your lighter scales here that we use the 0 and press a little lightly inside there. There we go. That's where we're going to start. No technique here. I'm literally just going to go around my fish. I even went inside our little bit of foliage there. That looks pretty good. Just kind of let it flow out a little bit. Flip to your BG 2.1 and that edge. Blend that little guy. Nice and soft. Yeah, there we go. Little circles inside here are going to go a long way. And eventually you get really fast at this where you're just really good. You just keep flipping. You're like, all right, light, dark, and you just keep flipping them. All right. And don't color the whole page, just part of it. Just part of it, because what you can do is I'm going to take my 0 and where the light, the white of the paper hits here, I'm going to do little circles with my chisel. And it's going to look a little dark there for a second, but then once it actually blends out, it's going to be pretty soft. And what we're doing is we're allowing that to accentuate where our fish is. So everywhere we have like color, like the color of the water, like underneath our foliage, we're just going to follow this pattern. This little white, you can kind of like choose like, hey, where's it go? Because it's going to have varying light colors. So we'll come back to this. We're going to come back to it. Let's give this guy a little more oomph. His eye is very white right now. Reminds me of my sister's goldfish when she was little. He somehow lived for only 2 years. And then when he finally did pass away, he looked a little bit like this. The poor thing. I felt really bad. Jessica. Okay. I'm going to cap my blue-greens. Let's bring this fish to life. So we have a couple options. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take our blues to do this. Now, fish eyes tend to be a little more silver, which is fun. Joan has a question. I haven't been able to watch the previous videos yet. Hopefully this isn't a repeat question. How do you decide what to blend? As in, do you go 2 colors away or, oh my goodness. Joan, that's a really great question. That's how do I know what to blend? Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do it with this. So I go ahead. I go ahead of time. So talking about like the eyes, for example, I have 2 blues here. What I like to do, I always put what I'm going to consider like my blending partners together. They tend to be like the same colors or close colors. We have a color system on here. So 0.6, the first number on here is going to be the hue, meaning how much of that color is in this marker. The second one, the second number on here is going to be your value. It's how dark or light it is. So, for example, 0 is actually the most color that you can have of blue inside this marker. And then 6 meaning it's a little bit darker. Whereas we have blue 2.4, 2, a little less of the blue inside of it. It's still considered very, very saturated. The 4 value, it's a little more of a mid-tone. So these guys are going to have a little harder time blending, but since they're in the same family, we can still force it. But that's sort of like the quick secret to it. So I'm going to use this, our B0.6, B2.4 on the eyes. So if I could just gonna move that over instead of moving my whole camera. All right, so here is our B2.4. And our B0.6. And I definitely encourage, if anyone has questions, feel free to ask. Like, even if it's a repeat, like, I always learn more and more. The more things are repeated. I know that sounds really weird, but it's the truth. All right, so going into the eye, I'm going to be using the B2.4. This is the lighter blue. And I'm just going to do each corner, each, like, edge. I'm not going to fill in the whole thing. I wonder if I can gently get in. There we go. Look at that. That's better. We're going to switch over to the B0.6. I'm going to use that for the center of my eye. There we go. He's already looking a lot more alive. Thank goodness. We don't want any, expired fishies on here. Nothing but alive and happy. And now, because I want to have more of a lighter tone, I'm actually going to grab my 0 again. But no question, just made it for once to hang out during a stream. Oh, thank you so much for coming on in, Boater. I appreciate it. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my chisel, the famous little end there. I'm just going to dab that lighter blue, and it's going to create a natural spread. It's going to soften that, so now it looks more like he has a shine in his eye instead of a blob of blue. There we go. He already looks more alive. Makes me happy. I'm going to cap this guy. Since we already have the blue out, let's do the other 2 fish. Let's just get it out of the way. So I'm going to grab my B06, my lighter tone. Yet again, we're going to go in one corner and then the other. Oh, sorry. Sorry, not B06. The lighter one. Now we have like extra dimension though. He's a bigger eye, so we can do that. Watch the natural spread. I'm going to do that again. We're going to go over to this guy. Doing his iris. Gentle, gentle. Flip on over, a lighter tone. Gentle, gentle. Let that little guy bleed. Flip over again to our black tone. Dab the center. Dab the center. We now have eyes that are a lot more alive. Loving it. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, now I'm going to cap these guys. Something I really like about the Olo is you don't have to cap them like a million times. You could just leave them for a little bit as you're working. Okay. So we have our little friend here. He's looking good. Let's do this guy. So we now understand how we can make a goldfish. Let's apply a pattern to it and make him into the proper, beautiful koi that he is. So we're going to go back to our initial tones. So this is our orange tone. So it's going back to R 0.1, R 0.3, OR 2.2, and OR 2.5. These are going to be my blending buddies. I'm going to grab the lightest tone that I have, which is the R01. And let's mark off basically what the koi is going to look like. What do his patterns actually look like? So I think I'm going to go around his face. Let me pull up just a little bit so that way we keep all that in focus. And I've decided around his head and his face, I want him to have his orange. There we go. Let's actually bring the gill in too. That looks fun. Let's do a sharp up and then keep it like on top. Let's bring it in and then maybe like one little quick one down here. Very cool. While we're at it, let's do this guy too. So this one I'm going to be very cheeky. I'm going to put a heart on his head. Because I just think the idea of a pattern is just really fun. And we'll give him like a little extra fun right on top there. Very cool. All right, here's our koi. We're going to take that color and just very gently brush. Fill in that area. We're doing it with our lightest tone so that way we can build up our color. I'm going to go around the eye. Bring it in. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing great. I told everyone I was very excited for this stream because this is something that I just learned how to do. So whenever I learn something new, I always get like what you guys want, you know? Like, yes, you know, we're a company but like in all honesty, Ola would not be here if it weren't for creatives like you. So I'm just going into the fins here and just gently putting a little color on the inside. I'm going to leave the outside a little more pale because koi, they're pretty translucent, their fins. Look at how cute they are already. They're already looking like adorable little fishies. So good. Okay, now that we have that, we're not going to go directly into OR 2.5. That's a really strong tone to use. So we're going to switch over to more of our midtones. So we're going to our R03 and OR22. So I'm actually going to do our R03 here. So just like I said before, when we're doing fins, you have to look at the way that the fish's face is facing. So fins and everything, you want your scales to face the fin. There we go. So you'll even see here we have those reverse U's. So before we were doing everything where it was used in this direction. So this time you're going to do it. It's definitely different. So I would always have a little page, do a little practice on the side. So that way you get used to it. And wherever we have this orange, you're going to do a little bit of the scaling. Just a little bit. Don't go crazy. We can always add more later. It's kind of the beauty of it is like you're in full control. You're designing your koi. This could be a $5,000 koi fish if you want him to be. This guy's got a heart on his head. Like, make whatever type of koi you want to make. And then we have our little goldfish friend. I love our goldfish friend. All right. All right. Let's flip over. We're going to go to our OR22. So this is on the other side. And now the inside of our scale, I want you to dab. Because I want us to be able to pull out some of that darkness. This is how we're going to blend this guy. And I know right now it looks really hard. It's like, ah, that's a lot. Don't worry, we're not done. Trust the process. We have an ugly little fishy right now. Flip right over. Dab some of your scales. Maybe add a couple little more here or there. Don't be afraid to go into the face. Okay. Looking pretty good. Same thing. Flip over. Go to your lighter color. Dab that center part. We're trying to create that bleed. You can even go in and start to add more scales with your lighter tone on this marker. There we go. Look at this little guy. He's so cute. But don't touch the white part. Don't do it. I know you want to. I know you're tempted to do it. Don't worry about it. We're going to be nice and fun. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do the same thing to this guy. While we're doing one, let's do the other. So this one, our scales are going to be a little different again. So you always want the scales to be facing the fin. So what we're going to do is a practice right on the side. I'm trying to position my hand so everyone can see it, so my apologies. Little U's. Nice and soft. You don't need to apply pressure. Okay, there we go. That looks good. All right, so starting down here. Okay. Flip over. Oh, I made a little mark on my page. I promise, everyone here, when you're working, mistakes are going to happen no matter what. I am definitely someone who lives in a realm of making mistakes. It's the best way to learn, though. It really is. So what's nice about this line art is you can always just print out more. Go, yeah, this is my practice. Make another mistake. Yeah, this is still my practice. It's okay. You got it, guys. Oh, look at these cuties. They're so cute. Okay. I'm going to cap this guy for now. Let's go back over. And this time we're going to go with our OR 2.5. Woohoo! And gently add some more scales. Same thing for over here. You can go over the scales that you've already put in. You can add some more. There we go. So cute. So cute. Add a little around his eye. Now he just looks a little stressed out. He's like, what am I going to eat next? That's what I always wonder. Okay. That's looking good. We're going to cap our orange guys now. And we're going to go back to our BG 2.1 and our BG 2.4. So before we go in and add like the reflection on the fish, what we're going to do is this white area, we're going to add scales. If you can, try and follow that pattern. What that's going to do is this is going to start pushing our little fishy out. Also, this is an opposite tone of the orange, and it's going to be reflecting the water around it. So we don't need to do a lot of tone work now, which is really fun. So areas you want a little bit more, gently go ahead and start to fill in your fins. Very soft. There we go. Same thing for this guy. Go in, give him Give him his scales. Maybe go around part of his gill. For the under part of his face, I am just going to dab lightly. There we go. Very gentle. As you get further back, you have to use more and more of the tip. And that could be challenging. Don't be afraid to change your grip up when you're working, because like depending on how you're holding it, you're gonna get some different shapes there. So don't be afraid to get closer. If you really need that control, you can get right up to the very tip and control it. You might notice that sometimes I'll also pull all the way back. If I'm really struggling with the pressure, I'll pull really far back and I'll just barely touch the page and just kind of let it do its thing. All right, let's do the thing here. Let's fill in some of our little friend. I'm gonna gently run this over the top of my fishy friend. All right, we're starting to grow a little short on time. I guess my equivalent of fish flakes would be like a can of Pringles. Yes, absolutely. All right, going in with my darker color, very gentle. Inner part of some of your scales. You don't want to go crazy with this. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Gentle and controlled. Very gentle. If you've gotten too strong, go back in with your lighter tone. I say it every time we stream. The lighter colors will almost always beat up those darker tones, so you really don't need to worry too much about it. So what I'm going to do, this bottom part, we're going to start to really fill that in a little bit more. And I know right now it kind of just looks like a green and orange fish. Don't worry, don't worry. We're an ugly face. What's great about it is this is our watercolor, so why don't we just go ahead and start our watercolor. So taking my darker tone, I'm going to go around the fins. Woohoo! I want to leave some of that white available. So I'm just going to go around. You don't need to fill everything in. I'm just using this to accentuate my fishy. This is where you get to really make a decision on what you want this to really look like. Okay, we have that. Gonna go in with my lighter tone. I'm gonna do little swirls in order to soften that hard line. So this, I'm not gonna halo the fish, meaning I'm not gonna just have it outlined. Like, let's pull it out a little bit, and you know, we want this to look more like water and not just like, hey, I outlined my fishy. We have a halo effect. Be afraid to get on in there. All right, have that, very nice. We're gonna maybe around these leaves a little bit, get a little lighter. Maybe down here I want it to be a little darker, so I'm just gonna run my brush over that. Our little friend here to have a little bit of fun. Go back in. Little circles to basically blend these two together nice and soft. And you're starting to see how It's not so much looking like fish that are green. Now it looks like it's reflective. Last week, did you say that there was somewhere on the website we could see the colors we had already bought? I believe so. If I understand the question correctly, if you have signed up on our little rewards program, it normally pops up right on our website. That should actually keep track of the colors that you have already purchased. Because I feel that in my soul. Sometimes you have so many markers and you're like, what do I have already and what do I need? Here we go. That's looking pretty fun. All right. Now that I have that, I'm going to cap these guys. It's nice and messy, you know, just the way I like it. Let's do a little cleanup. We're going to grab my 0. I even have it on a half marker because I misplaced the one that I wanted to use. Using the edge, I'm going to go ahead and soften up where the page, that white touches my lightest blue-green. I'm just going to gently blend it. We're going to get it all nice and wishy-washy. Which, like, normally you don't want to do. You don't want to wish-wash, you know, everything. But to be honest, like, in water, totally. We want watercolor. What's really nice about this is you start to get these lines through it. The more you fill it in, the more of that story you can tell. So right now it's very halo affected, meaning like we have the darks around here, but the more you add and the more you build, the better it's going to look. All right, so with the remaining time that we have, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys how to do this foliage that's in here. There's a couple ways of doing it. Most people like to go in with greens, but I was thinking, like, we have quite a few greens in here. Why don't we go really radical? Since we're using the coral reef theme, which you can find if you go into like shopping for colors, there are themes that are pre-made. So if you're ever not sure like what color to use or what color palette to use, try those themes because they're really good. I did the same thing Sunday. We released another video, and I used the vintage rose theme to make roses, and it was like perfect. Okay, so we're gonna go a little crazy. We're going to use V0.4 and RV0.2. Bring this guy in. Oh my gosh, there is cat fur all over my desk. Thank you, Lady Isis, for jumping up and destroying my desk before the stream. So these are going to be our coral covers. There we go. So this guy is RV0.2, and again, the colors that we used, they're all in the description already. I made sure I was good about that this week. Here we go. And I know Kim is probably in her seat right now going, coral, because we made that joke a couple weeks ago. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the darker one, V0.4, this guy. And on the inside, I'm literally just going to do like these little V's inside here. I don't even care about the texture that's already here. We're going to work with it. We're just setting our foundation first. So I'm just going to do these like little, I don't know, like little, they're not V's, they're just tri-folded, tri-brush, it's 3 strokes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Like really simple. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's not as tedious as the fish scales. So there we go. So good. I don't know, most people are like, I don't know about this. It's too strong. It's okay. It's all right. It's coral. We're gonna grab our lighter side now. And let's just brush over it. Literally. Like almost the same exact pattern. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just bigger. Apply a little more pressure. Use a little more of the edge. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You know, be careful not to go outside the edges, but if you do, not a big deal. Go and grab your watercolor, push it right back in, reactivate it. Fun. That's why, you know, that's why alcohol markers are so much fun. They look quite a bit like watercolor, but they're a lot more forgiving than watercolor. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's almost like little scribbles. As we get closer to the bottom, we can add some more of our darker, because now we're getting into a little more shadow. So I'm just going to literally just take the brush and I'm just going, so I'm just pushing, just very, we just want to work with that texture. That's all. Nature is chaotic. Switch back over. What this will do is this is going to push our little friends out a little more too, versus, you know, you can do this in green. If we wanted them in like an actual natural like water, you could use green, yellow green on these guys. Just follow the same dynamic. Do darker on the inside, lighter on the outside. There's no wrong or right. There really isn't. These are your fish. These are your little baby fish. Okay. Okay. Now that I have that, oh, let me actually cap them with the right ones. Grab my 0. You guys might have noticed I'm really favoring the 0 chisel lately. All right, we're gonna use the longer edge. I just want you to do little circles. For the bigger areas, use the edge. Now, I never recommend using the 0 as a straight blender. That's why we don't call it a blender. I recommend it for lightening things up or resaturating, even erasing. If you really, really, really work a color enough, it will erase it. And I want you guys to notice what's happening is some of those tones are really starting to lighten up a little bit. I'm leaving some of these areas white. That's okay. You can fill them in if you want. You can do it with the darker tone, like if you really want it to pop a lot. So we have, you know, the white in this area, but if I go in and I do the very, very tip, very, very gentle, you're going to pop it out a lot more. Going with your 0, use the tip and just push, and you're going to further define it. So you can do that. Don't be afraid to use the white of the page as your brightest point. So now that we're here, I'm just going to take my 0. I'm going to have some fun now. I'm going to take the very edge, and I'm going to go in to my little koi friends here. And I'm just pressing the 0 right on it, because I want to get some of that reflection. That's all I'm doing. I'm just pressing. Not pressing hard either. You just put it down and it'll start running. The more you keep it down, the more it's gonna basically push and blend, and you know, you get that really cool like watercolor look. The same thing to my other koi friend here. A koi named Corey. You can go in really to any part that you want. So the last thing I want to leave you guys with, since we are at 3, you can take your 0, and if you want, you can put little circles in the water. And because it pushes and lightens, you'll actually start to get what looks like bubbles. And if you really want to super enhance your piece, bring another material in. Use like a white color pencil, or use a gel pen. Of course, I misplaced my gel pen as well. Why wouldn't I? Oh, here we go. This is just like a standard gel pen. You really want to enhance it. You want to bring your koi to life, like really, really to life. Add a little highlight to their eyes, and all of a sudden they're fully alive. There we go. Even go in with your bubbles. You can make little circles around them. Kim says, ooh, the new Karen Deco gel pens would be perfect for some effects. Ooh, I haven't tried those yet. I gotta try those out. My problem is every time I walk into any kind of art supply store, I just get in trouble. So I'm like, here's my entire basket of all of my art supplies that I don't need. I get so many of them. So, yeah, using even a color pencil, just lightly going in, and you can really enhance this. You can go back in with your colors. If you want your koi to be a little bit darker, you can go back in and over with an orange, or really any color. Make whatever color koi you want, honestly. So here is our little koi friends. There's definitely a lot more that could be done here, but I'm going to leave that to you guys to experiment and explore and have fun. I absolutely had so much fun doing this piece, and I hope you guys, get that same feeling of like empowerment that I feel. What a really fun line art to do, and I was dreading this. So I hope you guys had fun. Thank you everybody for showing. You're all such wonderful creatives. If there's something you would like me to cover, a different type of style or technique, let me know. Comment it down below. A huge favor that I could ask all of you, share this with your friends, live streams, company, things like that. They live and die by word of mouth. They really, really do. So I would super appreciate the support for that. A couple little house cleaning notes, not even house cleaning, but the April colors of the month are out. Check those out on our website, which is awesome. We have sketchbooks available now, and they're so good. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff happening. And then Sunday we did launch a coloring series called Coloring Roses, where we're gonna every week, not every week, but we're gonna be coloring the same rose line art, but in a different style. So if you ever want to explore different styles, it's really good. So that is also already available. Sunday there will be a new episode. Okay, I think that's everything from me. Thank you everyone for your time. I hope this was fun. Please share what you've created. I want to see your fish. Okay, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Thank you. Oh, that was fun.